All right, hey there, folks. So this is actually a direct continuation. I recorded these back to back just because I need to get this fixed at a principle, but the last episode was running on. So we left last episode having started our temperature logic, and we have a problem here with our calculating our day of the year. So we're going to work on that. Not sure why this breakpoint isn't being hit. Day of year plus current time of year. Day of year equals 1. Oh, do. Current time of day. Yeah, so we're basically going, okay, if we are a. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just wanted to double check things there. And I'm trying to figure out why this isn't being hit because we are calling it here. I'm going to put a breakpoint on an advanced day as well. Sorry, this is aggravating and it's on principle now. I need to get this fixed. I screwed this up royally when I wrote the code the first time, and I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Like, I made a mistake. I need to fix it. So, okay, so we're going to leave this on 1 minute. I want it to be slow so that we can. Because December 30th is. December 30th is day 3. No, this is a leap year. Yeah, so yeah, no, it should be 365. Okay, so time was updated. Add day of year. It's not letting me go into that. Okay, I think part of the problem here is I need to do a full No, I shouldn't need to do a full rebuild. So what is screwed up here? Because that's going back. Okay, I'm going to just change this logic and see, because I don't know why this isn't working. We're going to go. Actually, I need to stop this. I'm going to rebuild anyways. So if current time dot month equals 1 and current time dot day equals 1, current time dot day of year equals 1. So this is an alternate way of doing it. We know our leap year logic was working up here. I calculated, worked that out. This was working. So I don't know why this other one isn't. But where's my leap year logic? 2. Right here. Sorry, I am blind as a bat. We know that's working. So I'm not sure why that wasn't working here. So we're going to give this another try. So, but anyways, as I was mentioning last episode, towards the start, this temperature information that we have here, this is a rough. As I mentioned last episode, I need to tweak the values. It's not getting cold enough in December. And these are going to be things that you want to tweak based on your particular project. So, okay, let's try this again. So day of year should be 365, which it is. Our temperature, yeah, it's not getting cold enough in December, so obviously we need to adjust our values there. Okay, it's going to roll over. Okay, let's see. You let me go into that? Still won't let me go into that. I don't know why. Okay, does that go back to 1? No. Okay, so there is obviously some flaw in my math. I don't know what, don't know where. I will probably look over the last episode and see, covering that during editing, and see if I have some glaring mistake. If so, I'll throw it up on the screen around now with a little text blurb to say roughly when or what the mistake was. What do we have? 5 minutes. 4:50. Sorry, just making a note. Explanation. So, Anyways, so now that we have that working, I'm not going to worry about adjusting my my temperature range or anything like that. I am, however, going to close out of this. I want to keep that at 2 days a minute, just because I think that's a good one for testing purposes. And we're going to close out of the editor, because now we need to add another delegate, or broadcast delegate, I should say, up here. Dynamic multicast delegate, one param, time data. We're going to add another one of those. Declare, if I could spell, declare, and I was going to copy paste this, but I want to type it out. Dynamic multicast delegate, one param. This is going to be F temperature change delegate float current temp. Alright, so we've got that set up. Now, where's our F time change delegate? It's down here. So let's copy that. Go down. Wait, no, not select. I want to scroll. On temperature changed. This one's going to be pretty easy to set up. We're going to go into our here. So I'm just taking a quick look here. Now, again, as I mentioned, this can all be refactored into a simplified version of this, where you can just do current daily get float. Daily temp range get float, annual temp range get float. Combine the two to get current world temp. This was done for debugging purposes. I'm going to leave it in place. Update time. Wasn't hitting that breakpoint either. I wonder if my blueprint's broken. Because, yeah, I wasn't hitting this breakpoint even though it was there. Weird. Okay. Advanced minute, we're good. I'm just trying, where do we want to... Well, actually, what am I saying? I want to do it here. So it's... No. Dot. Broadcast. Current world temp. So what this will be doing is every time we've updated the temperature, we're just going to send out a mass message to say, here's the new temperature. And this is, again, why we don't want to do it on tick, because doing this on tick is going to have just a huge volume of traffic. Now, I just want to make sure I am not missing anything here. Begin play. Obviously, we don't have anything for our delegate. I am just going to do one final quick check in here. Find all. We should only have the one. Yep. Okay, so really that's all we need to do there to now announce the new world temperature to anyone who cares. So what we are also going to want to do, though, is I don't like the fact that we are just sending a float value that we have no, a float that's representing Fahrenheit. We have no way of changing it. Utils, let's see. I don't know if this is going to let me, but it might. U function blueprint callable. Float convert. To Celsius const float temp. Now, if you want to, you could have a function to convert to Kelvin however you want. I just want to have these two, and I genuinely do not know what the formula is. Convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. What is math? So formula. No, I want to do that the other way around. Fahrenheit to Celsius. So temperature minus 32 times 5/9. Okay, so it's going to be float val equals temp minus 32 times by 5 divided by 9. Okay, so that is what it should be, and then again, this is just for debugging. As soon as I know this is correct, I'm going to move this down, and it's just going to return. We don't need this variable declaration. And actually, we want this to be a const, because we don't want values to be changed. So const. This is a converter, not a... What? Oh, yes, because it's not in a class. I should probably create a blueprint library for that, but let's see if this works. I haven't actually tried adding a U function to a non-class, and if that's the case, I'm going to have to create a blueprint library. It might actually be worthwhile doing that. I'll do that for next episode, blueprint library, because we're getting pretty much the basics of our temperature system finished off here. Blueprint function library. In CPP. And yeah, so with that, as I mentioned last episodes, I'm sort of trying to have ideas to help me fill the void in my video schedule, just because there's a lot of things that are needed to be done off screen. That worked. Now let's see if it actually works. To get some, like, the rest of this work, well, the next few parts of this project work moving forward. I've got a lot of stuff I need to do off camera, so I'm trying to think of little episodes I can use to fill things. So all right, so now let us go to our HUD UI. I think it was our HUD that we had that on. Third person. Man, I got a lot of crap in here I need to clear out. UI, basic HUD. Oh, opened up on the other screen. I was like, why can't I see my screen? Toggle inventory. Not in here. Where did I had subscribed to that? Oh no, that was the Harvest Actors. Regrow was where we had it, wasn't it? No. Left that around from when I was doing some debugging there, and get rid of you. Where did I bind to that? I know there was one actor. Harvest test, log pickup, random 2, 3. Well, either way, we're going to do it here in our HUD. So what we're going to do, two things. Inventory, action text, status bar. So we're going to add a stacked panel to our HUD. Time temp area. This is going to be anchored into the top right. I'm going to bring you over. It's getting rough values here. I'm going to bring you down a bit. So we want it 200, not 20, 200 by 75, and we want its X position to be minus 220, and our Y position to be 20. So it's 20 pixels from the corner is what that is. All right. And then we need to grab 2 text blocks and put that in there. This is going to be time data and temp data. Make these both variables. We need to change this to a vertical stack box, and we want these to both be set to fill. Compile and save. Time, I am just going to put a default 1200. Actually, no, that would be lunch. I want it to be 00. Because this, right now I'm doing it as a 24-hour clock. Oh, apparently I minimized things there. Will be in the future. Actually, when I do that blueprint function library episode, we're going to have logic to create that, change that to a 12-hour AM, PM, things like that. And this is going to be 0. I'm going to just put an asterisk. Actually, no. Do I still have character map open for the last episode? No. Character map. Grab the degree symbol. Let me get that. Copy. 0 degrees. I'm going to leave this as 0 degrees. Fahrenheit. Yep. Okay, so we're going to go into our graph now. We don't have any events in here. We removed them all. So we're going to go begin play. Event construct for UI. Get actor of class. Chrono. And we want the BP variant. Valid. If it's valid, we want to time change. Bind event on time change. Temp change. No, bind. Did I miss something? Bind event. Event dispatchers. What did I screw up there? What did I make the difference? Need to do both. I missed a U property or something, didn't I? Yeah, I missed that. A blueprint assignable. So, well, we're going to deal with the time change one quickly, and then we'll drop out. Add custom event. Update time. So if it's valid, we're going to do that. Break. Now we can't add a function to a struct, but again, we can do that in the blueprint library. We'll do in another episode where we're going to format this so you can have whatever setting format you want. I'm just going to go time data, text, set text, append, I believe. No, format text. So we want hour, minute, hour. Now we're going to do that there. Compile that one. And let's see if that works. We should now have in the top right a time, and then that 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we do have our time in there. It is correctly updating. I want to change that alignment to on the right, actually. So I'm going to pull that over quickly. That's that. We want to change this to on the right. Nope, that's that one. Center that. So we want to fill. Yeah, no fill. Compile and save. Move this out of the way again. So I had hoped to get all of this temperature stuff done in one episode, but obviously for those who've watched the last episode, I screwed things up royally and it took forever. Now, you're going to notice we get single digit minutes. Does not look right. So, I was hoping that would happen, actually. I've seen that before. Had that issue myself and couldn't. What is it? Format? No. Text. Int to text. No. Text from int. What are they? Text. To text integer. That's it. So this one here, you need to, and actually you're going to want this for both. So I'm going to duplicate this so we have it twice, not 3 times. So what this is it is going to take an integer value and it is going to guarantee it is of a certain format. So again, this is something we'll be doing in the function, creating a blueprint function library. So we're going to take our hour, minimum number of digits we want is 2. Don't need to worry about maximum. Well, actually, I want to say min 2, max 2. I don't want some weird 800 digit thing, or 300 or whatever that was. And what this is going to do, it's going to guarantee you always end up with 01, 02, so on and so forth. So now we've done that. I'm going to do one more quick play here to make sure. 13. Yeah, we're going to wait for just for that to roll over to midnight. 23 rolling to 0. And if that works, we're going to do a quick rebuild to get the temperature delegate in there. Yep, and that's working now. So let's see, is the live code going to work this time around? Pull that over. It's running on 3 things. Chronomanager, yep. And make changes to the actual. Well, no, I changed the header, so it's got to recompile the source. Regrow harvest. What? Okay, not sure what was there, but anyway, so let's see. Can we now bind to another one on temp? Bind event on temperature change. So we are going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to do it up here, custom event. And you notice it automatically gives you the data type for that because the editor knows we're passing in. And that's the whole purpose for, let's go back here and show you, for this here. So it's going, we're passing in a time data type called time data or a float called current temp. Go back to our editor here. Time data, current temp. And you notice it automatically, when you do camel casing, it's nice and it automatically puts a space in there for you. So it's not one word that's actually 2. But anyway, so convert. No, that's not what I want. What did I call that function? My brain is not working. Convert to Celsius. Okay, let's go back here. Right click. Convert to Celsius. Yeah, it didn't work because it's not as part of a function library or blueprint class. So either way, what we are going to do here is we are going to do pretty much the same thing we did for our time. Temp data, set text. So you have 2 different ways. You have the set text here, or you can call the function. Both of these have the same outcome. What you're doing here is you're setting a variable directly, and here you're calling a function to set a variable. Personal opinion, when you're working within the blueprint itself, or widget blueprint in this case, this works fine. I would only ever worry about this is if for whatever reason you're manipulating something in another class. So let me spell that right. Set text format. No, we want to text float. And the reason being for this is we want to have some control over that. Rounding mode, half to even, half from 0. I leave the rounding mode, always sign. So minimum integral digits, that's to the left of the decimal point. We want 1, because you don't say 0, 1 Fahrenheit, you say 1 degree Fahrenheit, -1 Fahrenheit, however that is. Maximum, we're never going to go above 100, or 999 to be technical, or below 999. So enough that. Minimum fractional digits is 0, but the maximum, it's how far, like, do you want 32.34567, or do you want 32.01, or do you just want 32? So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to compile that and move this over. And we should now hit a breakpoint. Or, okay, what imploded. Okay, so let's rebuild this. I'm going to actually, no, build, cancel. It's been a while since I've done a full rebuild. So I'm going to do a full rebuild of the project. I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back once this is done. This is going to take about half an hour on my machine, so. All right, so we are back in the editor now. Let's see if this implodes on us again. I'm gonna hit play. It's not imploding. Now you will notice our temperature doesn't have a degrees, so. But this covers the basics. You can see we have our time working, we have our temperature working. I'm going to stop. We're going to open up that blueprint again, widget blueprint again. We're going to fix that though, because that does drive me nuts. I'm going to go to our basic HUD, pull that over, go into our graph. Is it append? Add? No. So it's going to be a format. Format, text, temp. And let me pull up character map again just to make sure it's still in my slot. No, in there, degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is where you would want to put in something like this. Unit. Right now, because as I mentioned, we're going to cover converting this back and forth to our various different degrees in our blueprint function library, which I'm going to do probably in the next episode. I'm just going to leave this as degrees F. Excuse me, degrees F. Lose my voice there. Hit enter there, and literally all we do, we drag this in. Compile and save. Let's try this one more time. So you can see. Now, obviously, this does not really look great. Again, this is quick and dirty. This is to get things into the game. You get the core system in place, and then once everything's working, you do a polish pass. You make things look good. So right now, though, we do have our ambient temperature. It's not doing anything. Obviously, that is something we need to address. That's something we'll be addressing in the stat line. And I'm going to do that as its own series, because that needs to account for things like insulation, thermal insulation. I'll rephrase that because that counts both to reduce heat loss and reduce heat gain. So that will be an episode all on its own, because that's going to take a lot. That was one of the biggest issues I had, is trying to figure out how I wanted to calculate that. Because temperature loss is a very complex thing if you want to do it accurately. And I'm trying, within reason, to do this as accurate to real world as possible, because the intent is I want to make a realistic survival game. So with that though, let's just switch over to first person quickly. I'm just going to run around. Yeah, that's still got the wrong word there. Pick mushroom. Yep. And make sure these trees are still falling over. Need to work on my ambient nightlight. That's not working great. But you can see there. Pick up a log. Hey, give me a log. There we go. That's still on the screen. I'm going to need to fix that in an episode. But with that, folks, I'm going to end things here. I understand this is a much shorter episode than the last one. I probably could have recorded this all in one go and split it into 2 episodes after the fact. But hindsight's 20/20. But yeah, so I just wanted to also cover something I mentioned both last episode and briefly covered at the start of this episode. Making mistakes. You're going to have mistakes in your code. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's going to happen. I could have very shamefully come through off camera as soon as I realized I'd screwed this up, deleted my episode, undid everything I did, because I've got this all through source control. I could have gone through and realized, let's make this work. Pretend it's not. Let's where'd the other one go? Set day of year. I could have realized all of this was screwed up and I had all those various typos, like I was missing this. This was just always going to set it to the current day. It wasn't going to add it. And that's going to happen. For anyone who's worked in a professional environment with programming, that's why you have pull requests that people review, because sometimes you can't see the mistake even though it's right in front of your face. And that's the purpose of code reviews. It's to allow a third party, not as in a separate company sort of thing, but it's to somebody who's not directly involved in the work to look at what you did and go, oh, there's a mistake there. As a solo developer, you tend not to have, or not you tend, you don't have that luxury of a third person to look at your code and go, oh, you made a mistake. This isn't going to do what you're expecting it to. So, ultimately, this boils down to don't beat yourself up over it, because you, as a solo developer, you're not going to have the safety nets that bigger teams have. Even having 2 developers working on something gives you that second set of eyes that's like, oh, yeah, that's not going to do what it's doing. Like in my professional programming career, I need to have a minimum of 3 people approve my code before it's a formal commit. And I will tell you this, in my professional career, I make silly mistakes like this. Not often, but they do happen. So that is something I just wanted to briefly touch on. It wasn't enough that I wanted to do a full intermission episode on it, because yeah, that's a bit much to do a full episode on. But anyways, folks, so now I've got that said, as always, any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And as I've been saying for the last little while, if there's any like one-off tutorial episodes you want, doesn't matter what it is, throw it in the comments. If it's something I think I can do in an episode, I will do it in an episode when I need to get some time filler stuff. That doesn't mean it's going to be out right away. I am trying to get as much done for this primary project as I can before I hit this sort of imaginary speed bump of having to slow down, because I need to start doing a lot more planning, because I'm reaching code I've never fully realized before. But anyways, so with that, folks, thank you again for watching. Comment, question, suggestion, concerns, throw them in the comments, and I will see you in the next episode.